So when I think of Christmas memories, what comes to my mind first is actually here at Connection Point in 2016, Christmas time for the big production, which at the time I was just a volunteer, and I didn't even volunteer that much. I'd only been here about a year. But anyway, so Pastor Darren was putting on this big production, and even to this day, I think it was still the biggest production in terms of amount of people on stage and extras and basically kind of behind the scenes stuff. So it was a big thing, and I'm still like really impressed with everybody, and still, again, thank you for all the people who participated, because it was really good. But so it was this nativity scene essentially. So we had this big tier, like stair step thing built. I mean, it was massive. It was super heavy. We put it on the stage. That's where the angels went, and then we had a manger in front of that, and then you had like shepherds on one side, wise men, and some other people, and then of course you had the star. But Pastor Darren's daughter hanging. She was hoisted up like in a harness, I'm pretty sure, and she was up there for 45 minutes and had to sing. So it was a really good time. But my memories it was about a week before it happened, and we had all these practices, and I just really enjoyed that because I'd never been around anything that big before, and because I wasn't really raised in church or anything like that. So it was just cool seeing all the people involved, their families, kids, and everybody running around during these practices. It was this big family thing. It was really nice, and I remember that fondly. But we get closer and closer to the day, because that year Christmas landed on that Sunday, and Christmas Eve was of course Saturday, and we had 4 time slots that weekend, 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. So it was actually on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So it was kind of extra special. And so it gets closer and closer to the event, and people start getting sick, like bad sick. It's like somebody got it, there was the carrier, and then it spread. So, it was kind of bad. We lost a couple people, but we were still doing good. But Saturday morning, I remember I slept in longer than I usually do for whatever reason. And Pastor Darren messages me, and I thought it was a joke at first, but he was very serious. Pastor Darren was so sick that he couldn't even come in, and that he needed me to direct the production. And at the time, I didn't know everybody that well. I still was pretty nervous, hadn't quite come out of my shell yet, so I was really scared about it. But I'm like, okay, I'll step it up and I'll do it. But thankfully, everybody was very professional. Everybody knew their part, knew when to come in. I just kind of helped with some cues and things. So it was all kind of taken care of, thankfully. Everybody was good job, everybody. But I remember, so I'm nervous, and thankfully there was a couple people there that really eased my tensions, like Pastor Darren's wife was awesome, and Miss Teresa was awesome, and I remember Darren Hobbs was really cool about everything. He helped me out, and I even got him to pray for everybody for me, because I was too nervous to even pray out loud to everybody. But it was really cool. But I remember, so as we're going, more and more people are getting sick, like really sick. So we were losing angels and little shepherd boys left and right. We even had a trash can with sawdust in the back behind the stair steps in the manger, just so people could throw up in between songs. So, it was crazy. So, like, most people didn't realize it, but if you watch the first production on that Saturday and then the last one on Sunday, there was probably 15 less angels and about half of everybody else. Thankfully, we even had a different Joseph and Mary the second day. Thankfully, we had our head angel stayed, Miss Teresa stayed and held the baby before Joseph and Mary came up. So she's just underneath this thing, hoping not to get thrown up on. And then, our wise men stayed. They all were okay, but, everybody was just like this crazy thing, everybody getting sick. And thankfully, Micah, hoisted up there, didn't get sick while she was up in the air. But I just remember it was insane. And Pastor Darren even came that Sunday. He was better the next day, but I remember he's like, I think I can direct on Sunday. I'll be okay. But then he comes in, and I remember him just laying on the chair like this, like death chewing on a cracker. And so he wasn't much help, but I had already done the hard part on Saturday, so I was kind of had that confidence. But I remember though, because it was Christmas Day still. And of course, I had family things to go on, but I had help with the production, so I wasn't gonna walk out on everybody. So I remember calling my mom and being like, "Hey, I gotta direct this church production. I don't think I can come to Christmas this year." And she was pretty mad about it, but she got over it, and thankfully we actually got done quick enough that I was able to get to Grandma's house, and I still got to eat. So it all worked out in the end.